Welcome to the Home Hero Podcast, where our mission is to share real tactics, real stories to help you grow a practical, profitable handyman business. Today, we are sharing a real tactic that is quick, easy to implement, that is going to help rank higher in Google, be seen as a higher authority to Google, which is going to naturally create more authority and more attention on your business and your website from AI platforms. So this is a very in the weeds kind of ninja hack, if you will. Most people are not going to be chatting about this in the Facebook groups. This is very much kind of just an insider secret we're just going to open up to you guys about that will help improve your rankings and AI Google taking your website more seriously when it comes to serving up results for searches like handyman near me, someone looking in their area to hire somebody, or information about a handyman business. So what this tactic is having you, your team, your family, your friends, your good clients add you directly to Google as a preferred source. And you actually submit your website as a preferred source to Google, or these individuals do. And the more people that submit this as a preferred source, obviously, the more kind of votes you get from Google algorithm that puts a little bit more weight on your actual website as a good piece of information, a preferred source of information. And in this case, it would be a preferred source for professional handyman services in your market. So that's the strategy. Firstly, I'm going to toss it over to Coby to ask his handyman perspective questions, since certainly my passion expertise is on the SEO, AI optimization side. And then we're going to walk through in detail the rather simple and quick way that you can initially get this out to your friends, family, team, and good clients, and then some maybe ideas of how to ongoing have people add you as a preferred source to Google. So Coby, I'll toss it over to you. Ask me any questions about what the heck this is, so people can understand what it is and why it's important.
I've got a ton of questions because this is, I know you sent it to us a little while ago, but didn't make a ton of sense to me at first glance. So I'm looking forward to learning more about it for myself. So these are like real organic questions. So essentially, somebody goes and they follow the link that Google provides to add somebody as a preferred source. And, you type in your handyman website, and Google adds this as a preferred source. Is this like submitting it to Google so that Google can make it a preferred source like across the board for all of the searches in that area? Is it just like if I add Handyman Marketing Pros on my Google account as a preferred source in my own searches, Google's gonna use the website more? Does that make sense? Does that question make any sense?
Yeah, so you're asking basically, is this going to increase the prominence of your website for just that individual, or broadly across the market? Is that right?
Yeah, so whoever adds your site as a preferred source, yeah, is it just, preferring that website for that person who submitted it as a preferred source? Is it kind of like a personalization thing, or is it, you're adding authority over time the more people that, submit it as a preferred source, kind of across the board in the
Yeah,
market?
good question. So Google being Google, they are ethereal. However, deeper analysis from SEO communities, that's kind of where we're sourcing this from. But at the end of the day, Google has a way to submit your website as a preferred source. So I think that certainly it probably influences that local Google account, like maybe prioritizing the site for those kind of searches. But the biggest impact here is the more broad recognition that Google, like say you've got like 50 people that submitted your site as a preferred source. Google knows, like from your website, if it's set up correctly, optimized. Work with us if you aren't sure how to do that, or if you're in a good place. But Google knows from your site, like that you are a professional handyman serving, let's say Toledo, Ohio, your neck of the woods. So broadly, if your handyman site has, let's call it 50 people that submitted as a preferred source, Google knows the context of your website. You're a professional handyman, you serve Toledo, you serve neighboring towns, et cetera, et cetera. So all else equal, when someone's doing a search for handyman services near me, handyman services Toledo, Ohio, what's the best handyman in Toledo, like more AI conversational searches, Google is literally has a storage of this information of like, well, across there's all these handyman sites that could pull, Google profiles, and they know how they bucket information into entities. So every website is an entity. It's connected to a Google profile. It's one entity. That entity now you can accrue these preferred sources. So it's basically like votes from your clients, your friends, family. Hey, this is a really trusted, great handyman business. And so that will theoretically factor into rankings. It is very new. However, because Google has literally rolled out a web page to make these submissions, they are aggregating this data. So the biggest application, answer your question, is it very likely is a broad resource recognition across your focus market that all else equal. So I'm talking, the same number of reviews, Google profile, optimized website. If you're getting your friends, family, clients to submit you as a preferred source, your website should be ranking above your competitors. And because competition is so light in internet marketing for handyman business contracting, these little things really add up to make somebody the clear front runner. As we see from just all the integration, the nitty gritty stuff we do for our services. But the short answer, man, is there is more broad implications. Google knows that where you are, what you do, and they're attributing a little bit more value to your actual site, your entity, as it's described within Google.
So it sounds like it's similar to a lot of things with Google. Like you said, they're pretty ethereal. Like as an example, like Google doesn't, correct me if I'm wrong, but they don't come out and say, hey, if you add owner updates to your Google business profile X amount of times in a month, you're going to rank better. They don't say that directly, but we can just logically deduce that that would make sense. And then, you test it out and we find out, okay, that is the case. Adding these owner updates does make a difference. So we're kind of just drawing a pretty logical conclusion and knowing Google that, hey, adding this as a preferred source and the more you get, it's probably going to make a significant enough difference to be worthwhile.
Absolutely. And so overall, my term I use with Google is feed the beast. If Google's asking for a piece of information or gives you a source to do things through Google, you should do it. So an example is Google Posts you brought up. Google Posts rolled out, getting older. I think it's been at least 5, 6, 7 years, maybe now. Initially, through testing, the SEO community, we have our own, tracking. And initially, Google Posts didn't influence rankings at all. It wasn't a thing. And I think it was probably 3 or 4 years ago now, so 2022-ish, data showed that Google Posts, regular Google Posts, so weekly, a few times per month, they did tangibly increase rankings. So overall, my guidance is feed the beast. This is another avenue Google saying, hey, feed us information so we can help give better search results.
So we like it when Google gives us, more ways we can improve and compete.
Yep. What other questions do you have, or anything I can explain more there?
I mean, it seems pretty straightforward. I mean, it's. We'll put the link in the description of this episode to do that. But basically, you're having as many people as you can add your website as a Google preferred site, and that sounds like that's pretty much what it is.
And with AI developing over the last year, 2 years, but certainly last year, the website has become even more important when it comes to ranking because it's the first source that if you're looking for information about a business, the website's the first place logically you would go, right? And so algorithms are doing the same thing. ChatGPT, Google, Gemini, Claude, whatever. So when someone's typing that search like handyman near me, well, they know where they're at, the Toledo, Ohio. Google is literally just pulling websites, Google profiles in the Toledo area. And it's sourcing the website for information about services. So if the queries are more service specific, if it's just handyman, like the more heavy optimizations come into play. So they are looking at the website even more than they were certainly 5 years ago, even 3 years ago, where the Google profile was kind of the big kind of front runner when it comes to getting the Google Map Pack, and the website does play a big part of that. But now there's more information, there's smarter algorithms that are just doing deeper research across the web of, going into your website, your FAQs, if you got pricing, reviews on your Google profile. So the website is becoming more and more important as a source information so that you can basically submit to Google like, hey, here's what I got. Here's my business. Here's my services, my reviews, etc. Please rank me, right? For these kind of searches. So it's just becoming more of that central focal piece of information because these algorithms are smarter now at digesting information. And so I believe that this preferred source, there's probably the root of it is probably more nationwide sites like news, maybe more local news websites, perhaps like blogs. Like they want to maybe identify from user sources like, hey, from a user perspective, this is really good because they can only see algorithmically. They can read the code, see the website, read it, etc. But this is a way to almost give a not necessarily a review of a website, but a vote that, hey, this is a good website that's helpful. And what helpful is going to depend on the industry and what kind of business and site it is. So the website is becoming more and more important. And so this is why I believe that Google's trying to get these votes to help them guide their search results and maybe prefer highly preferred source sites. So any other questions, Coby? And if not, then I'm going to kind of go through the quick details here of how to get this set up. It's super simple.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Okay, cool. So like Coby mentioned, I'm gonna spit off a scary, like long URL because you have to copy this exact thing. We are going to put a link in the description of wherever you're viewing this or listening to it on Spotify, Apple, whatever. Which on that note, if you're enjoying this, please give us a review. We never asked for that, but it does help. So really appreciate that if you're tuning in on whatever platform. Greatly appreciate that. So we'll drop the link so you can copy and paste, but I will audibly list this out. So the link you need to send to people, and it's automatically going to conduct itself. So when you pull this up, you'll see it's going to pop at your website and you literally click submit or add site. So what you type into Google and what you type into a note that you could share to your friends, family, team members, any great clients that you're comfortable with, like, hey, this is kind of random, but can you like go through this and click add me as a preferred source, like to your websites? I'd really appreciate it. So what the link you would send them and save is google.com/preferences/source SOURCE Q equals your website. So that's google.com/preferences/source Q equals your website. So for us, it's google.com/preferences/source Q equals handymanmarketingpros.com. You would just exchange handymanmarketingpros.com with your actual business website. Of course, we'll drop the link with our website so you could see how that would work and you could add us as a preferred source. If you like us or even are just mediocre with us.
I'll do you one better. Google.com/preferences/source. And then it brings up
okay.
Yep, that'll bring up the page, and then you can. I was just doing this live because I was trying to follow along.
Yeah.
And then, it says make search your own with preferred sources, and then you can type in the URL in that box there. It's a super simple web page. There's nothing else you can do on the page except add a website there.
Perfect. Yeah. Thanks for that, Coby. So google.com/preferences/source will get you to the main page. The link I was referencing will also drop in the description is how you can like make it easier for your clients because you can have it pre-populate your website. And that's why we want that more complicated one.
Yeah.
When you're sending it to clients, because you don't want them to have to pull up that main one, then type in your website because your clients don't know what your website domain is most likely.
Totally. Good point.
Yeah. So the one that I reference is specific that you should send out. But yes, as a listener, google.com/preferences/source, but add in that more Q equals your website domain. That'll get you that direct link that someone could very easily add it with no tech knowledge as a preferred source. All right, guys. That is the hack that will benefit your website. How it's viewed in Google is going to give you more authority, which translates to better rankings, better recommendations on AI platforms, which then ultimately leads to more website visits, which then leads to more phone calls and website forms and leads, jobs booked, sales conversations, all that good stuff. This is just one of the many things you can do for your business. I hope this was helpful for you. If it was, give us a like, drop us a comment. Any questions, let us know. We are here to help. Thanks for tuning in.
Last thing. This is the last second thing. I'm on the sources page. Again, this is new to me, but at the bottom, it says note, sources that are not updated regularly may be unavailable. So just a nice little highlight from Google about the importance of keeping your website up to date and adding content on a consistent basis.
Good
Just a little
catch.
side
And
note.
yep. So we're just trying to read between the lines of Google. It's a new kind of platform. They're saying, "Hey, feed us information." So that is a little nod that goes into a whole other episode. We'll have to film the details of why ongoing content's important for SEO, for AI optimization. It just is a natural, easy, algorithmic way to recognize a site as active, a business as active. They care about their service, they're providing great service, or getting great reviews. So a good note there. Thanks, Coby. We'll have to do another episode on how to do that ongoing content, update your website. Thank you guys again for tuning in. We'll see you on the next episode.